Hello, I'm Veronica Bierwirth, currently a second-year game development student at Centennial College. In this video, we're going to go over a few frequently used tools in Maya. These are tools I use almost daily and really help speed up my workflow. Just a forewarning, this video is more catered to newer users, but can also be good for a refresher on how the tools work. In my next video, we will walk through a very basic, low-poly modeling process using the tools we'll cover today. If you find this video useful, feel free to browse around the other videos on the channel. Without further ado, let's hop right into Maya. This is the typical layout you see when you open Maya and are looking to start 3D modeling. We can go ahead and get started by making a generic cube from the Quick Access toolbar. So one commonly used tool is the Extrude tool, which is located on the right under the Modeling Toolkit tab. This is mostly used on faces or edges, and this tool allows you to create new surfaces based on which part of the model you've selected. To demonstrate, if we select the top face of the cube and hit Extrude, we'll see this new tool appear on the extruded face, but we don't want to touch that. We want the tool that will allow us to either move or scale the new face we've created, which we can get by using the hotkey W to move the face as we please. But yeah, this is a really useful tool that can help us take a generic shape like a cube and turn it into something obscure if we wanted, like say if we wanted to take these two sides on the cube on the new face that we made, and if we wanted to like stretch it out sometimes, not that one, this one, then we can like make what kind of looks like a torso almost of like a generic Minecraft character, you could say. We could even give it a little head and just extrude the top and pull that upwards like that. And it could be across like that. If you want to use your imagination, it kind of looks like the starting of a Minecraft character. So starting over, let's say we have this cube here and we decide that we don't want these faces here, so if we just quickly select this one and that one and hit delete so that they go away, we now have this open box that you can see right through on both sides. Good. But let's say we decide we want to fill up one side of the hole, right? We want to connect these edges here. How would we go about doing that exactly? So again, on the right side under the modeling toolkit, we have a button right underneath Extrude which says Bridge. So these work by connecting the faces or edges. In this case, we're gonna double click on the edge to select the entire edge loop, and we're going to create that new face by hitting Bridge. And you can see it has now made a brand new face. It is connecting all of the edges and the other faces all together to create that one side. Note that I say one side because if we were to flip it around, you still see that there is this empty space on the other side, which can be good for things like making an eye socket. You can still see the ball of the eye through this hole that we've created. Now let's say we don't want to just cover up that one side of the model and we want to fill all the holes that we might not actually see. So what we need to do is we would need to be able to select it as an object itself. So if we go like that, all of the lines turn green. That shows that we're in object select mode. We go up to mesh, which is right here, and we're gonna hit the fill tool button. So if we just go ahead and click on that quickly, it's going to fill both sides of the hole that we've created on this square. So we have that side and we have that side. Just note that this will fill all holes that you might not see, and that will include the eye socket holes, so it's good to know if you want to fill all holes in the model or just that one particular hole. For the last tool we'll explore, we're going to start with a generic cube that has 4 edges per side, and if we wanted to add a new edge to only one of these sides, we're going to go to Mesh Tools, and we're going to use the Insert Edge Loop tool. So if we think of this like where we're going to cut a cake, if you wanted to make a horizontal, or rather a vertical cut, we're going to start at the top and use our knife, or in this case our cursor, to place it on that top edge, and we're going to click and hold the mouse button, and that will bring up the preview for the slice. We see that in the green line, and when we let go, it's going to turn orange just like that. We can see that this edge has looped all the way around the one side of the cube exactly as we intended. It hasn't touched any of the other faces of the cube. The same could be said if we wanted to make a horizontal cut. So if we go to the side and we were to left click on the edge that we want to make the cut. It's going to bring up the preview, and then when we let go, it's going to make that incision. So from there, we can just let our imagination go wild. You can make a present, or if you want, I like the thought of making it into a flower pot. So I could take the edge with this face here, and we can bring it out and start to shape it to my desires. So if I were to make this into a flower pot, I can take all of the sides, or the two sides that I want, and stretch it out just like that. And that's how I would make like the world's most basic flower pot if I wanted. I could even take it a bit further and add more detail to it while still keeping the overall shape very simple. Most flower pots have these protruding rims at the top, so we can go ahead and make that by extruding and scaling those new faces we've made. This looks pretty good. Looking at the top, we can see there's new faces that have been automatically created that make this border around the large squares, which we no longer need. Getting rid of those squares, it's good practice to check the rest of the model to make sure we didn't accidentally get rid of the other faces. Sometimes Maya has a habit of selecting faces on the other side. But other than that, this looks like a good starting flower pot we can use in a low poly scene. That is it. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for your time. I hope all this info was useful in familiarizing yourself with some of the tools available in Maya. If you enjoyed, feel free to follow along in my next video where we will use the tools mentioned today and create a low poly asset. Have a great time modeling, and thanks for watching.